Good afternoon, GC. It is so good to connect with you guys again this week. I hope you guys have been enjoying all the different videos that we've been putting out, the encouragement clips, and even the live stream that Carter and I do on every single Monday at noon. If you guys have not had a chance to tune into one of those, I just encourage you guys connect, join in. There's so many awesome things that we cover, and we'd always love to cover some new questions that you guys might have during this time. And just gonna get started. I think it's amazing to know that during this time under quarantine or wherever you're at right now in the world, that during this time that we can so see God move in our lives. And some of you guys might be asking, how is that possible? What do you mean, Vlad? And it's super simple. The easiest way that you can see God move in your life is to see God move through your parents' lives. And what do I mean by that? The thing is we have so many opportunities in our lives to either be a blessing to somebody or really to be a burden to somebody. And what does burden mean? What does blessing mean? Burden, it pretty much means that it's like a weight, that you could either be a weight to somebody that's always dragging them down, or you can be a blessing. And what does blessing mean? Blessing pretty much lifts people up, and it encourages them, and it pushes them forward rather than a burden pulling them backward. And so during this whole time and this quarantine, it can be very easy to either be a blessing to our parents or to really be a hindrance and this burden in our parents' lives. And I know personally that was something that I always had an opportunity for when I was growing up and we had snow days. Most of you guys do not even know what snow looks like, and if you do, it's only from videos. You've never seen it in real life. But growing up in Chicago, I had real snowstorms. I mean, the kind of snowstorms where it'd be up to here, and I'd literally be standing in this crazy snow, and I had to clean it all day. And so we weren't even able to get to school. But everybody knew that a snow day was always a fun day for us as kids. And something I didn't realize until I was a little bit older was that it was kind of a burden for my parents whenever I was home because of the way that I was acting while the snow day was happening. And it's something I want you guys to really get a hold of, get a grasp of, because this could easily change the way that your parents' lives can be during this whole time. During this time, your parents not only still have to provide for your family or whoever your legal guardian is, they not only have to provide for your family and provide and take care of you and make sure the rent is paid and all this stuff, but they're also needing to, take care of you and make sure that you're okay and that you're getting the education that you need, that you're on top of the education that you need, and that your relationships and friendships are all going great. This is the kind of situation that your parents are actually going through right now. And so this week we're talking about how to love parents. And so it's actually quite easy, and it's going to be different than you probably think initially, and I'll explain why in a minute. When I was going through, middle school, high school, I always thought that the things that I really loved were the things that everybody else loved. And so for myself, the things that I really loved was I loved gifts, I loved quality time, and anything that somebody could do for me, I loved. And so in turn, when it came to my parents, I would always try to, give them gifts. I would always give them encouraging words and things like that. But I didn't realize that people actually receive love differently than one another. Sometimes you'll encounter somebody that receives love exactly the same way that you do, but the chance of that is actually so slim. And I actually stumbled upon a book called Love Languages, and this book breaks down different ways that people understand and receive love. And this book truly changed my life. I'll never forget. I remember I was in high school. I think it was my sophomore year of high school, and I was faced with a situation where, my mom was always asking me to clean and stuff like that. And I honestly was just kind of getting tired of it, and I really didn't want to do it. And I just remember I started reading about these different love languages, and I realized that this entire time I could have been loving my mom the way that she wanted to receive love, which during that time was acts of service. But instead, I was really just trying to give her love the way that I received love, which was gifts. And of course she enjoyed the gifts and she was super grateful for them, but she, I guarantee you, would have traded all those gifts for me just to help her around the house sometimes. And when I got a hold of that and I really understood that, I decided to take it and put it to action. And so one of the things I started doing was, I remember I started cleaning the kitchen, and I didn't clean the kitchen how I used to, because I used to still clean the kitchen and I tried to help, but sometimes I made it worse than I started. And so what I discovered, I was like, man, if the Bible talks about doing everything unto God in excellence, then I want to help my mom in this time unto God in perfect excellence. And I knew that it was going to bless her as well if I did it that way. And so I started cleaning the kitchen, and I would like be meticulous about it. I would take everything off of one countertop, move it to another, clean that entire countertop, like make sure, looking at the reflective surface, that there was no smudges and no streaks, and made sure that it was completely spotless. And I would repeat this on every single part of the kitchen. And once that was done, and every single piece of stainless steel was shined and buffed and everything, I would go and get our Swiffer, and I would mop everything up and things like that. And I remember I started doing this, and I remember the first time my mom came down and saw that, she actually started to cry. And she started to cry, and she came up to my room and she knocked, and she's like, hey, can I talk to you real quick? And I was like, yeah, what's going on? And she was crying. And I was like, oh God, I probably messed something. I probably used the wrong chemical and like took the paint off the walls. I don't know what I did. But what actually happened was my mom was so moved by the way, the excellence that I put forth in doing that very thing for her, that it moved her to the point of tears. And it was so incredible for me. I was so amazed by that I was like, oh my gosh, like what else can I be doing for my family that I've been doing wrong? Or not that I've been doing wrong, I just haven't been loving them the way that they truly receive love. And I guarantee you, if you think about it right now, if you just think about it a little bit, there might be some things that you guys could be doing for your parents during this time, especially, that would actually be a blessing to them rather than them being a burden for your parents. And I don't know what that might be exactly, but I know one thing. A lot of times when parents have a lot of things to do, the biggest blessing they could ever receive from their child is acts of service. Their child just deciding, hey, I'm going to do this not because I was told to do this, but just because I love my parents so much, I'm going to do it anyway. And, you know, I even find this happening a lot in my marriage, you know, being married now for almost a year. You know, any opportunity that I see where, you know, Victoria is still sleeping or something like that, and the dishwasher was running last night, I'm like, okay, I can put these dishes away really, really quiet, and I know this will be a blessing for her. Or I make her coffee every morning, and, you know, one of the things I do is I like drizzle the top with honey, and I can do it two ways. I could just drizzle it on, however, and just cover it up with some cinnamon, and she'll never know. Or I could really take my time and make it really, really nice, even though when I cover it with cinnamon, she won't even see it. But I know that those little things, that they would mean so much to her. And so the same way, I want you guys to really think about how you could be a blessing for your family during this time. And we see this as a huge trend in the Bible. We see that Jesus was so obedient to his mother that even when he was saying, it's like, it's not even my time to do something right now, she continued to push him and ask him to do something, and he did it anyway. And he didn't just do it like with half effort, he did it excellently. And so I want to encourage you guys during this time, really look for opportunities to bless your parents. And this is kind of a challenge we have for you guys. We want you guys to really do something amazing for your parents. And it's not for a reward or for somebody to see, but it's just to bless your parents. And so during this time, look for something specific. If it's cleaning the house or doing the dishes afterward, or even looking up how to prepare a meal. You might say, I don't know how to cook. Listen, it doesn't matter if you burn the food. I mean, it doesn't matter if it doesn't taste amazing. The fact that you would take the time and you would really try and give it your best to cook for your parents, I guarantee you that'll be a blessing for your parents. So take the time and really think about these things. Think about how you can bless them. Maybe it's taking care of your sibling for the day and telling your parents, hey, I got it. I'll make sure they do their homework. I'll make sure this happens, make sure this happens. Don't worry about it. And you'll see the change in their face. They will be shocked that you are so willing to do so many things for them. And it's not an expectation of somebody else knowing or anything like that, but it's just simply because you want to love them the way that they receive love. And I think that's a huge key. See, the thing is, we see Jesus loving us as individuals, you and me, not the way that, you know, he might think, okay, this is how Vlad should receive love. Or this is how Taylor Chen should receive love. It's not like that anymore. God loves us where we're at. And what does that mean? It means that he loves us the way that we need to receive love. So one of the things for me is, the way I receive love is through quality time. And I love going through my day and just seeing the little things that God prepares for me every single day. I know there's different people that for them it's through nature. Like they love nature and God shows them himself through nature. There's so many different ways that God loves us, and the reason that he loves us is so that we can now love others. So I want to encourage you guys, really allow yourself to receive the love of God, experience the love of God during this time, because like I talked about last week, it can be so easy to allow the things that you are putting off, the things that you were trying to forget, to easily catch up to you and really, put a weight upon you. And it's almost like those very same things have now become a burden. But really this time is such a blessing. And you could either allow this time to help you and shape you, or you can use this time to allow it to become a burden for you and something that you dread and you wish never happened. And so I leave you with these things. First off, God loves you the way that you need to be loved. And the reason he does that is so that now you can love other people that very same way. Second, find something to bless your parents. Whether it's your parents, your legal guardian, I don't care who it is, find a way to bless that person. And say you're, this is a parent that's watching it. I would just say, like, this is a perfect opportunity for you to even encourage your kids in this. And 3, have fun, guys. This time, you do not need to allow this time to really be a depressive state or anything like that. Use this time to really have fun with Jesus. Use this time to really open the Bible and read it for how it's meant to be read. Not like a book, but really a conversation from God to you. You need to read it understanding that this book, these are words that were given to you by God himself. So I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, joining in. For those of you guys who do not know, we're doing a TikTok challenge. It's called the Blinding Lights Challenge, GC Blinding Lights Challenge. So expecting you guys to put up your videos. Carter has already put up his video. Victoria and I are going to be filming ours soon. So super psyched, super pumped to watch all those videos. Hey, if you have not joined us for a Worship Wednesday, that's going to be happening tomorrow at 8 p.m. Come join on our page, see it, watch it. It's going to be an amazing time. Cannot wait to see you guys there. Love you guys.